As we march into October, one of college football's great traditions begins. We start the battle for the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. Air Force has beaten Navy the past 4 years.
Picked! Touchdown! Air Force!
But this Navy is different. This Navy is explosive.
Wide open into the end zone. Touchdown! Navy!
The midshipmen have raced to 4-0, averaging 46 a game. Can Air Force slow them down, or will this ship keep sailing? Welcome to the Home Depot College Football on CBS on a absolutely gorgeous day in Colorado Springs. Air Force arrives in front of a sellout crowd. A slow start for the Falcons at 1-3 and a big test against 4-0 Navy. Hi everybody, I'm Rich Waltz along with Ross Tucker. Tiffany Blackman will join us shortly. These Commander-in-Chief trophy games are so fun. They're so cool, and they're so important to these academies. They play for the Commander-in-Chief trophy, which is so coveted, it turns this game in the middle of the season into a playoff game.
Yeah, and you know what I like about it? They admit as much. I mean, Navy head coach Brian Newberry told us he watches the entire Air Force and Army games every Monday. Meanwhile, Troy Calhoun from Air Force said they spend about twice as much time on this game as every other game. That's not normal.
No, and that's why these games are usually really tight. I mean, how lucky are we, Tiffany Blackman, that we get a ringside seat?
It is incredible to be here, Rich, and at a place where Navy hasn't won since 2012. Midshipman receiver Nathan Kent was quick to bring that up in our chat this week. He said it's Air Force week. You don't have to remind the guys to lock in. Now, the last 2 meetings have stuck with him because they came up short. But he said what really weighs on him is this. He told me, I know what it's like to see the hurt in the seniors when you don't win. These Armed Forces games are personal. And Rich, as a junior this year, he's got another shot to try to send some seniors out on top.
All right, Tiffany, Navy's lost 4 straight to Air Force. Hey, this guy belongs on your Heisman list. This quarterback is something. Navy's Blake Horvath.
All you need to know is that Horvath is doing things that no other college quarterback has done since Lamar Jackson, and a lot of them have been of the explosive variety. How about last week to UAB, the deep post to the All-American sprinter in Kent, and then 2 plays later, he found his go-to target in Eli Heidenreich. He plays the sniper position. We'll tell you all about it. Look at that block, by the way, by Ben Purvis downfield. Navy already has 6 plays of 60 yards or more. They only had 5 all year last year.
Now, this is how Air Force has beaten Navy the last 4 years, with a smothering defense. But for Troy Calhoun, this is a different animal. They're going to need help from their offense, and their best weapon is Cade Harris.
Well, kind of like Heidenreich on the other side for Navy. He plays the wingback position, and you can see at the bottom of the screen career highs in receptions and yards last week in Wyoming. But how about this? He's also their leading rusher. You don't see that very often.
The head coaches, great contrast here. 18 years now for Troy Calhoun, 9-8 against Navy, and an impressive 20-14 in Commander-in-Chief games. And Brian Newberry, defensive coordinator for taking over last year as a head coach, 0-2 last year in these Commander-in-Chief games. And I don't know that we could have ordered better weather here at the foot of the Rocky Mountains. It is absolutely gorgeous. 73 and climbing. They expect temperatures in the 80s. And man, everybody is ready for this. Air Force won the toss. They defer. Navy gets the ball. Isaiah Bryant is in the end zone. He'll take a knee, and away we go. What makes Blake Horvath tick?
Well, there's so many impressive statistics that we can talk about when it comes to Horvath, but the one that jumped out to me, he leads all FBS quarterbacks in both yards per attempt passing and yards per carry on the ground. That is just nuts.
And they're so explosive. They have scored a touchdown on the first play of a drive 5 times this year. That's above and beyond anybody else in all of college football. So don't be surprised if they take a shot here. Heidenreich. And he is dangerous whether he's running or in a pattern. Serpro will give you the starting lineups for Navy, and Heidenreich gets the first carry.
Well, that's the guy they want to try to get the ball to. He has 5 receiving touchdowns already, at least 1 in each game. Horvath told us anytime he's running a route where he's making a move, that's who he's looking to, number 22.
2nd and 5, a gain of 5. Horvath, a quick throw. It's Teska, and he's hit and dropped back at the 27-yard line. Defensively, Air Force is without 3 linebackers. It puts some pressure up front, but they've got a good one, and Peyton's adroit there.
Well, he is fantastic. He had a team-high 12 sacks, 18.5 tackles for loss for his career. 6 foot 280, but extremely agile. He's going to have to live in the backfield, especially on 3rd downs like this.
3rd down and 7. First possession, Navy and Air Force. Horvath will keep it, and he's smothered and dropped, and it's Zadroik on cue. And a 3 and out for the Air Force defense.
Well, I'm glad this is the guy that we just featured in the starting lineup. Watch Zadroik right here. He's going to bull rush and then disengage here on the play. Bull rush and then makes the play. He just knocked Purvis 3 yards back into the backfield and was still able to shed the block and get yet another tackle for loss.
Riley Reithman to punt, whistles and flags, and maybe motion before the snap.
False start. Kicking to number 8.
This is an American officiating crew, and that is Tim Rich. Gene Steratore is with us as well as we start our college football Saturday here on CBS.
And a terrific start to this game for the Falcons to get a 3 and out, and they should be able to get decent field position here.
It's Brandon Engel who's deep. That's a great punt at altitude here. Fair catch called for and made, and Air Force gets their first touch right around their own 23-yard line. John Boucher last year was the quarterback, and the 3 guys in front of him all started a game, so he's somewhat inexperienced like the rest of this roster.
Troy Calhoun told us he thought he made some strides last week, especially in the first half, throwing the ball on time and accurately against Wyoming. They're probably going to need more of that today, although they're going to try to run the ball, especially early in this game.
Dylan Carson getting the start at fullback. He's been banged up most of the season. This is Cade Frew, and Frew busts across the 25, out to the 27. Deshaun Peel makes the stop for Navy. Our Serpro starting lineups for Air Force. Man, in a game like this, you want to start up front.
Well, and any Service Academy coach will tell you how important the center nose guard battle is. So Costin Cooley for Air Force going to have his hands full with Landon Robinson from Navy.
Carson is the fullback behind Boucher. Navy shows pressure, and Justin Reed fires through and stops Carson right at the line of scrimmage. Best defensive player for Navy is at the very back, Rayon Lane.
Well, and he's an NFL prospect. This is his 35th start for the Naval Academy. How about last week? 12 tackles and 2 forced fumbles against UAB. Number 18 is going to have to play well. He is going to be everywhere.
3rd down, long 3. Boucher on a handoff, and that's Frew, and he's short of it. And both defenses with a nice opening series. Now, if you're Air Force, the punt team is on their way out. Field position, special teams, both coaches talked about winning the margins in a game like this.
Well, and this is a full 2 yards, which I think would be a little bit too aggressive. Both these teams like to go for it on 4th and short. They both follow the analytics, but I think inside your own 35, 4th and a long 2, this is the right move.
Air Force had a punt blocked last week. And a good spiraling kick. Heidenreich went down to a knee to make the catch, and so he's down back at the 13-yard line. We are underway. You want to fly over? How about this one? Air Force and Navy scoreless. The pageantry and the tradition, just this whole scene in Colorado Springs. Scoreless start here. Brian Newberry and Navy are 4-0, 3-0 in the American. People have talked about, hey, this could be a college playoff team. And Newberry delivered this message to his team this week. He said, don't choke on the sugar.
I think Nick Saban calls that rat poison, right?
Blake Horvath and this offense, one of the best in the country. And this is Brandon Chapman. And one of the most impactful hires across college football was this guy, Drew Cronick, who was the head coach at Mercer. Brian Newberry wanted him as the offensive coordinator. It took 2 weeks to convince him to take the job.
Well, he was so happy at Mercer. He was doing a great job there as the head coach. They were 9-4 last year. They made the FCS playoffs. He's from Georgia, wife's from Georgia, family there. But he recognized just how unique of an opportunity it was to be here at Navy, and his wing T hybrid offense has really flourished.
Horvath pump fake, throws, got a man on the sideline. That's a terrific play. Amin Hassan makes the catch, and we check in with Tiffany Blackman.
Hey guys, well, Blake Horvath told us when it comes to Cronick, the biggest thing that helped them get off to such a great relationship is that their first conversations weren't even about football. So they established a relationship beyond the game. But he noted to us that it has helped with his confidence so much, the ability to verbalize and how Cronick wants to get things done. He communicates effectively to you guys.
All right, thank you. That's a terrific move by Horvath to pivot and find an open receiver. And the first down. That's Hassan in motion. Little option look coming. Horvath so good at this. And he's out to the 29-yard line. Camby Goff makes the stop. This is the impact. This offense, and you called it, it's a hybrid blend. Wing T, triple option, and spread.
And look at that at the bottom. I mean, they averaged 17 points a game last year. They're averaging almost 30 points more a game. Now, I think Horvath has a lot to do with that, but so does Cronick. It has been a match made in heaven thus far.
Second possession, Navy. And it's Heidenreich who has a seam. And this guy, he's not huge, 6 feet, 195 pounds, strong and electric.
Absolutely love the way the skill guys block in these off. Watch Fofana, 45 and 23. Watch 45 right there, right at the point of attack. He gets the edge there so Heidenreich can get outside.
Heidenreich again, and Heidenreich is into Air Force territory inside the 45-yard line. Armed Forces football is proudly supported by the Exchange.
Everybody blocks, Rich. The wide receivers, the running backs. You don't get on the field for any of these teams unless you block. It's not like that. Some places in the NFL, some places in college football, it's definitely like that for the 3 service academies.
Second down and 3. And Navy moving the football. Horvath. And he's got the seam. Got the first down inside the 30 to the 27. Levi Brown on the stop. 17 yards.
Boy, they're outnumbered over here. Watch this. They're running the option. There's nobody out there. I mean, Fofana, 45, is looking for someone to block. And that's the thing. Air Force very well schooled against the option, but Navy gets to it in a lot of different ways.
You absolutely want to keep Navy out of the red zone, because once they get in there, they are 14 of 14 in the red zone, and all of those 14 are touchdowns. That's the best in the country.
And you see Fofana running off. It's just so great to talk to any of these young men for any of these programs. I mean, Fofana has a 3.57 in applied physics. His freshman year, he was in the orchestra, the Naval Academy Orchestra, playing the cello. Are you kidding me, Rich?
Yeah, I'm sure. That's all these guys impressive. Little pump fake. Horvath hit as he throws. Man open. Flag down. Catch made. At the 2, Chapman An acrobatic catch with a lot of things going on that play. The flag is back at the 15. It's a 23-yard hookup if it stands.
Well, I think he got him with a double move. And he got the ball anyway. That pump from Horvath came exactly with the first move.
For defensive holding. The result of the play is a catch for a first down.
Not an ideal throw from Horvath, by the way, because he forced Chapman to go out of bounds. That could have been more into the field of play. Really should have been an easy touchdown, but Horvath was getting blasted as he delivered that football.
We told you about the red zone. 14 trips, 14 touchdowns. Straight ahead, Fofana. And he is stood up. Second and goal.
The biggest reason why the academies don't put up a lot of points against each other is that they do such a great job stopping the fullback run. You watch any of these three schools play against anybody else, they're churning out 3 to 6 yards a pop with the fullback. When they play against each other, it is tough sledding for the fullbacks because Brian Moore teaches his guys how quick they need to trigger on those inside runs. Wouldn't be surprised if we get some type of quarterback runner option.
Horvath, a keeper, in, touchdown, Navy. How about 15 of 15 touchdowns in the red zone?
Well, and this is why you go ahead and run the quarterback, because you get an extra blocker. Watch Fofana get the key block right there. That extra block didn't allow Horvath to even get a hit on him. He probably would have scored anyway, running right off the down block from the offensive lineman, but Fofana took an extra hit off number 11.
A sellout in the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. Navy is in the house. Horvath is in the end zone. Drew Cronick. That's right, 7-0. In today's installment of Navy's Greatest Legends, brought to you by The Exchange, 2019, how about Malcolm Perry that year against both Air Force and Army? Over 400 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. He led the midshipmen to victory in both games, and that's the last time that Navy won the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. Malcolm Perry and a long line of great quarterbacks for Navy. The great Keenan Reynolds was the last one to win in this stadium for Navy. And Horvath is living up to those legacies. All right, Navy's on the board first. And that's through the end zone. Now you might be wondering, what is Air Force wearing? These are the Air Power Legacy Series uniforms. It honors Air Force Special Operations Command. The motto is any place, anytime, anywhere. And the AFSOC on the back of the uniform stands for Air Force Special Operations Command, a 30-year legacy of air commandos who have excelled in missions globally.
How cool is that?
Now let's see if Air Force can move the football. Boucher has a seam. He's not an explosive runner, but he has the knack for finding running lanes.
That's good enough right there, right? I mean, he doesn't need to have necessarily long runs. They kind of fake the toss outside. He's able to give a little bit of a stiff arm to Ramos, number 44 there, and that's a very nice first down gain for Air Force. Sets them up nicely here for second down. If they want to take a shot, this would be a great play to try to get one deep.
Mike Thiessen, the longtime offensive coordinator, very creative in his own right. That looks like a hard-earned yard and a first down. Kyle Jacob made the stop, and it is a first down. And that's Dylan Carson, that fullback spot you mentioned, so important to Air Force as well.
Well, it's so important to Air Force that Troy Calhoun coaches them. You don't see that very often in FBS football either, where the head coach is a position coach at fullback, and he told us he's going to coach a position for as long as he's coaching. He thinks that's how you lead, plus he loves doing it.
On 1st and 10, John Boucher out of Port Charlotte, Florida. Not a lot of playing time before this season started. Frew on a pitch. And good help by Deshaun Peel, who sealed the edge and made the stop.
That was a really nice tackle by Peel. Watch the top of your screen. Number 1 comes flying in the open field. That's their best cover corner. But just like everybody on both these teams has to be able to block, everybody on both these teams has to be able to tackle, even the corners, and Peel was up to the challenge there. Air Force needed more yards. When you get your tailback in space, as you see Mike Deason, the OC, he knows that they need to get a couple more yards than that.
Now Boucher, who threw it well against Wyoming, is on target, but a great close and play. And that's Rayon Lane, who might be getting some All-American votes before this season is done.
Rayon Lane is so good. It's going to be the safety at the right side of your screen. It's an out route, man-to-man coverage, and he just gets right there as the ball arrives. Watch the near hand. Oh, that is beautiful. And by the way, that's why he's a legit pro prospect. He'll hit you, he'll make tackles, but he can cover, which is what you need in safeties at the next level.
3-man rush on 3rd and 7. Boucher flushed, little floater, and it's picked. That's Peel at the 40. Peel to the sideline, midfield, out of bounds. Navy has a turnover, and it's Deshaun Peel, the playmaker.
Well, when you look at the outcomes of these games, the winner is almost always the team that wins the turnover battle. And that was not a good decision by the inexperienced Boucher. He was rolling to his left, tried to find the receiver down the field. Peel, I think the corner baited him into it, and the midshipmen have the ball back in Air Force territory.
This is a big play Navy defense. 9 turnovers already this year, and this is a big one.
He was looking for his tight end, Bruin Fleischman here. He actually beat Mbidi Williams, but watch Peel, the corner. He's going to sink and get the interception. Some type of 3 deep zone. He runs past the safety, Mbidi Williams right there, but Peel was able to peel off the underneath defender and make a really smart heads-up interception there. If Boucher was going to throw that, he had to throw it much earlier.
Horvath follows his fullback and picks up a couple yards. And this Navy offense that scored on their last drive in a great spot already in Air Force territory.
A lot of times, Rich, after a turnover like that, now there was a TV timeout, so it's not an immediate sudden change, but sometimes coaches like to try to take a shot after that. As, look, Navy just shifted to an unbalanced line to the right side.
With motion towards that side, and this is Teska, and he lost the ball. Air Force is on it. And that's a huge turnover.
Absolutely gigantic for the Falcons, because that was a nice run by Teska. Coming into your living room here, it's well blocked. Teska upfield, and the ball comes out. Hard to see. Ooh, that's going to be an interesting one. I wonder if his shin or anything was down. Let's see if anything is down before it comes out.
Was the ball loose at that point?
The left knee might have been down. They're going to have to take a good long look at this one.
That's why we have Gene Steratore with us. 7-0. Navy on top, and Navy driving, and their veteran fullback Alex Teska had that one ripped from him. Here's another look from above. Ball's on the opposite side, knee down.
It's just so hard to tell for sure from that angle when the ball was out. They're going to have to piece it together from multiple angles, and the call on the field matters, that it was a fumble. Knee is down. I tend to think he still has it there, Rich.
Again, you need video evidence to support what you think.
Right.
And that's in the balance right now. This is, oh wow. He's going to emerge from behind the official. Gene Steratore, you've seen a lot of angles. What do you think?
Yeah, and I'm really, as I watch these, I'm leaning where Ross was leaning as well, Rich, and think that Alec Teska, when he has that football, I think he still has it in his possession when the left knee hits. I was looking at our first angle with the shin, couldn't see the ball. This, I think, is our best shot. You see the defender with the hands-on ball, but I think they both are possessing it there. And as we've already said, when that knee hits, it is where that football is. And I am leaning where Ross was and saying that he would have been down by contact prior to that coming loose. But it's really tight, guys, and without an angle, as we know, that can show us all of that, and unless we hope they're piecing this appropriately, it's really, really close, and that ruling on the field matters a whole bunch here because of that.
Yeah, this might be the best angle right there. It's hard to tell whether or not he still has it when that knee is down. Gene, you agree that we think his knee was down, just whether or not they think there's a good enough angle to say it's indisputable visual evidence, right?
100%, Ross. Yeah, and I think when we start using words, and I think they're appropriate, where we say we think he is down, right?
That's right.
Or it appears that he's down at that point, then it takes you to the call on the field, naturally, because thinking and assuming at this point is not in the principles of what we need to do for replay. Really, really close play, fellas.
Yeah, thinking and leaning doesn't mean definitive.
Well, and Gene, my thing is, I always say the longer that the referee is looking at it, isn't that the more evidence than you need that it's not indisputable visual? I mean, the longer he's looking at it, it's not 100% obvious.
It is, and I think you alluded to this early, too. There's a piecing that you can go through now. So
the ball carrier's knee was down with possession of the ball. It is still down.
Well, there you have it. Leading and thinking, and then definitive for the replay official once he saw all the looks.
That's one where, in all sincerity, Rich, I would have been okay with it either way, right? I think that last angle, they could tell that the left knee was down and Teska still had it. But if they said, listen, there's not indisputable visual evidence, call on the field stands, I would have been okay with that.
So the drive continues for Navy. A 7-0 lead. Late in this first quarter. First leg of the Commander-in-Chief Trophy chase. Straight ahead, Teska again, and he's plastered.
Guess who? Peyton Zdroik, another tackle for loss. That is one of my favorite players in college football. He's basically like the most agile tree stump you've ever seen. He's lightning quick at 6'2", 280. Makes sense since his dad was a running back and receiver for the Falcons. Navy gonna go for it. I'm thinking quarterback run again.
On 4th and 2. Horvath, it's a reverse. It's Kent, and it's open field, and it's gonna be a touchdown, Navy. $34 yards. A brilliant call by Drew Cronick, the offensive coordinator.
I hope the Navy fans enjoy Drew Cronick as their coordinator, because I don't know that he's going to be there very long. This guy is awesome. Are you kidding me? With you run the option to the wide side of the field, pitch the ball back to your All-American track athlete. There was nobody in the zip code for that touchdown. What a call by Cronick. This Navy offense is fun to watch.
All of that on 4th and 2. Navy on the roads. They haven't won here in a long time. Nathan Kent. It's 14-0. I wonder how many teams and offensive coordinators across the country have that play on their 4th and 2 play sheet. That's amazing. And of course, the overturn of the fumble important. After a pick by Navy, they have taken a 14-0 lead here.
Navy offensive coordinator Drew Cronick said to us that he doesn't want his guys to have a fear of failure, and he certainly doesn't. Are you kidding me? 4th and 2. If there's penetration, if the backside defensive end stays home and that play gets crushed, Cronic would have been second-guessed left and right. But he told us he wants to have a fun offense. He is not afraid to fail, and neither are his players.
And this offense is fun. I mean, just go ask Memphis or UAB. Now Air Force, Cade Harris, first touch for him, and he's knocked out of bounds. And it's not a bad guy to pitch to when you send it to Nathan Kent, is it, Tiff?
Yeah, definitely not. And Ross kind of touched on it. He competed at the Olympic trials over the summer in the 400 meter. And so his summer went like this. He flew and competed on a Sunday, flew back on Monday, and was back with the team in time to practice on a Tuesday. He told me running routes, all of it. He just stayed on top of it and found ways to get on the same page as his quarterback. And that's why Cronic had the trust in him on that play, guys.
Yeah, Tiff, top 35 in the nation. Second team All-American in that 400 meters. Boucher following a block. Now, Air Force has fallen behind. They are not built for a quick strike offense. They need to move the sticks and get some time of possession.
Right, and there's still a ton of time in this game. You know, maybe they caught a bad break with that fumble by Teska being overturned. But for a team that only averages 12.5 points per game, they can't come out here and just start trying to throw the ball all over the place. They need to stick with the plan. You get one score, one touchdown. It's right back to being a one-score game, which is where they want this to be in the 4th quarter.
Cade Harris has been their best weapon. Got to get it off. The play clock is down, and a timeout called. You can hear Boucher call the timeout once he looked at the clock. Big 3rd down coming up for Air Force when we return. And every now and then, a late flag comes in, and we have to stop the music and listen to Tim Rich.
Correction. Air Force double first time out of the half prior to the door of the game. 30 seconds.
Cue the music. Let's go, kids. 14-0. Navy on top. A little Pikes Peak action. You can stream CBS Sports HQ, your free 24/7 snapshot. All the sports that matter to you. Catch highlights, in-depth analysis, breaking news anywhere you are. Download the CBS Sports app to watch today. It's just stunning right now at the foot of the Rockies here on the Air Force Academy grounds. But Navy is here to spoil that party. And so far, they've dominated. Just 30 rushing yards so far for Air Force. Dylan Carson on a key 3rd down. Air Force with Boucher straight ahead, and he's met head up. Landon Robinson up front. He's going to be at least 2 yards short of this 1st down. And Air Force is going to have to punt.
Right, and Landon Robinson's going to make the play, but I think Boucher should have gone over there to the left and followed his running back. Watch, the lane was over there. It seemed like he ran to darkness as opposed to running the daylight. He ran right into Landon Robinson's chest. He followed the back. I think he would have been better off running to the other side.
That's Vince Lombardi never said run to darkness. He liked the seal here and the seal there, and then the daylight. That's another booming punt. Heidenreich going to return it from the 9. And he's out to the 13. That's a 57-yarder that follows his first one, which was a 55-yarder.
So far, so good for Navy's offense. They start off with a 3-and-out, but ever since then, they've looked like this year's midshipman. Horvath with the deep pass, leading to him taking himself for yet another rushing touchdown. Then he flips the ball to the speedster, Nathan Kent, on just an unbelievably creative play call there on 4th and 2. You don't see that very often. I wonder if on his 4th down play sheet, you know, does he have, and he has option, he has quarterback follow, does he have the reverse to Kent on 4th and 2 or less?
That's on the fun play sheet. Horvath, play action, fires it towards the sideline. Caught there by Chapman, and he is out of bounds. Actually, it's Heidenreich, and he is out of bounds. That's just another little wrinkle that this offense has. I mean, you think option, there's some there's some wing T. I mean, I don't remember the last time I heard wing T referenced by an offensive coordinator. And then you get the spread passing game like that. Navy firing on all cylinders, and a 14-0 lead after one. 14-0, Navy on top of Air Force. Tiffany Blackman moments ago with Troy Calhoun.
Coach Calhoun, Navy's been able to try to start to get into a rhythm on offense. How can you slow them down on this drive?
Well, we got to be more exact assignment-wise. I mean, you look just the understanding exactly what we got to play in terms of our technique. If a ball goes away on a reverse and I see it high carry, then I got to get up the field. Same thing, you know, in our coverages too. If we have a blitz called off the edge, we have to operate and execute the blitz off the edge.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Navy's execution has been perfect. Horvath again. And
Horvath the ball carrier.
Jamari Bellamy made the stop. Quentin Hayes is the backup quarterback for Air Force. And he was taking snaps and starting to warm up. That was moments ago.
Well, he's a little bit more of a dynamic runner than Boucher. Sophomore from Enterprise, Alabama.
Second down and 6. Straight ahead. Osaro Aihi makes the stop for Air Force. Fofana, Teska, the fullbacks for Navy, interchangeable. Heidenreich and Chapman, the snipes, also interchangeable.
He's already made a number of tackles. He's going to have to make a bunch more. He has a team-high 23 tackles coming into today. 3rd and 3. Air Force has to find a way to get a stop here. You wonder how close Navy would have to get here to go for it on 4th.
Amazingly, they're 0 of 2 on 3rd down. Horvath, little play action down the field and incomplete. Cody Howard, one of his tight ends, the intended receiver, and Houston Hendricks on the coverage, and that's a nice stop for Air Force.
Yeah, so they love to pump fake one way and come back the other way, but Howard was really covered pretty well. They went with an out and up to their tight end, who's really more of a blocking tight end. Navy obviously very aggressive, and that's exactly what that throw was, to try to throw a deep shot to your tight end.
Brandon Engel, fair catch called for, and it takes a left turn and rolls out of bounds around the 18. 42 yards on the punt. Who's a quarterback for Air Force? That's the question when we return. Now plus. There's the change. This is Quentin Hayes, the sophomore, who played a little bit on the road against Baylor, threw one pass, completed it, had 3 carries for 4 yards. So a quarterback change for Air Force, and they're inside their own 20, down 14-0. On a pitch. This is Cade Frew, popped at the 28 and spins for the first down, a gain of 11.
You know I love this. Watch the wingback out there. Cade Harris with a terrific block at 5'8", a buck 80. He's out there blocking for his guy, and a nice spin move to spin off of that hit from Duhart by Frew. He's also only 5'8". Air Force has some short but mighty skill guys.
All right, Hayes is going to carry it. And he's across the 35. Kyle Jacob made the stop. The threat of the quarterback run is such a key component to Air Force's offense.
Right, and I think it's important to note, by the way, that the coaches told us yesterday there was a pretty good chance that we would see Quentin Hayes in this game. So this is not necessarily a situation where Boucher has been benched or where Hayes has the rest of the game. The coaches might just be seeing if Hayes can provide a spark.
Hayes in trouble and slips through the pocket. And he's going to be short of the first down by about 3 yards. It's a 3rd down and 3. Armed Forces football, proudly supported by USAA. He's inexperienced, but so is just about everybody in the starting lineup on both sides of the ball for Air Force.
Well, and that's why they've taken a step back this year, right? Air Force fans know this. They only had 4 returning starters, 1 on the offensive side of the ball. They're the most inexperienced team in college football.
Straight ahead, and with the push, that may be a 1st down. Justin Reed made the stop. Flags come down late. There was a confrontation, shall we say, at the 45-yard line after the play.
Well, and I saw an Air Force player land on the ground, so we'll see if we got a shot of who did something. Look at the bottom left of your screen. Duhart and Quinn Smith. Oh, and then Lane with the shot there.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 18, 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. 1st down.
And that is just not a smart play by a very smart player in Rayon Lane. He's probably Navy's best player. You've got the lead. Things are going well. To just take a shot really from behind at a receiver like Trey Roberson is not smart.
And Quentin Hayes, the sophomore, has him on the move. Little heat on him, loads up, fires, got him in! Caught there! Roberson 10! Roberson touchdown!
Well, it's terrific blocking up front, and Hayes rips it to Roberson, who's able to break the tackle of Lane, who just got the penalty. So back-to-back horrible plays for Rayon Lane for Navy helps get Air Force on the scoreboard.
An absolute shot of adrenaline, much needed for Air Force. Quentin Hayes off the bench. Trey Roberson up the sideline. And it's 14-7 now. Air Force had struggled mightily until that throw by Quentin Hayes.
Well, look, it's Roberson's in the slot. Is this going to run an in-breaking route, a dig route against Rayon Lane? So you got a receiver against the safety in man-to-man coverage. You should like that. Lane is there right at the catch point, but he goes for the strip as opposed to securing the tackle, and Roberson able to take it in as Air Force shows they can have a big play offense too.
Essentially taken the crowd out of this game, and they're back in it. Tomorrow, another NFL on CBS doubleheader. Early window, Josh Allen of the Bills taking on his former teammate, Stephon Diggs, the Texans. Ravens, Bengals. Later, Packers go on the road to take on the Rams. Now that's a CBS Sports Sunday. It all starts noon Eastern. The NFL Today tomorrow on CBS. Streaming on Paramount Plus. Mike Shanahan's coaching tree. Gary Kubiak, of course, was involved with that. Look at all of the current head coaches. And Troy Calhoun was part of that. Yeah, he coached in the NFL before getting the head coaching job here.
3 years with Mike Shanahan and the Broncos. Then he went with Gary Kubiak for a year to Houston.
Back to work, Blake Horvath, and he's got a big gain and pays the price at the 38. It's a gain of about 16, and we check in with Tiffany Blackman.
Guys, when Quentin came off to the sidelines, he could barely stand up after throwing that touchdown pass because everyone kept patting his helmet, patting him in the chest, telling them how proud they are of him. And then he yelled out to the team, we're in this, we're in this. And you could feel that this team feels like they have some momentum now, guys.
All right, Tiffany, well, let's see if the defense responds. Option, Horvath reverses field and then gets planted. And a gain of 1.5 yards. Brody Bueno, the sophomore out of Hutto, Texas, with a stop. Now that's a great college football name.
Brody Bueno. That tackle was muy bueno. He's playing because they lost Luke Fisher last week against Wyoming. One of several guys that actually went down. Eden Calvert, Kyle Chen. A host of Falcons were lost last week against the Cowboys.
Second down, and Horvath to throw. Heidenreich with a catch, and he's gone. Flag is down. Navy in the end zone again. Eli Heidenreich, there's the flag. It's back at the 46.
Pass interference, offense, number 82, 15-yard penalty, still second up.
Nathan Kent with the interference, and a 57-yard touchdown comes back.
Wow. There was an Air Force defender on the ground as Heidenreich caught the ball, and I was trying to figure out what happened. Watch, you'll see Kent, and then you'll see Heidenreich come behind him. But watch Kent, 82, right side of your screen, right there. He just knocks over Bellamy. Bellamy would have at least made the tackle right there. You just can't do that. I mean, before the ball is caught, you can't be down there running. It was almost like he was throwing a block down there. And the unfortunate thing is he didn't need to do it. It would have been a big play anyway.
And another big penalty against Navy. Horvath, lots of time, loads up, deep shot, and it's over the head of Nathan Kent, the speedster. This is going to be a long third down now.
So Kent runs a school record 45.42 in the 400 meters, which is what he trains at. So sometimes they like to just take deep shots at him, but that time Horvath put too much under it.
Horvath, who throws a nice deep ball, and you can see Navy thrives on it. They get a lot of big plays.
So here's the question: does Air Force come with pressure to make him get it out? Looks like they're playing a soft zone, going to let him throw it underneath.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, third down.
So I'm not going to say I like a delay game, because you never like a delay game, but they did the right thing not calling a timeout right there. When it's 3rd and 23, the timeout for later on in the half is more valuable than trying to save the difference between 3rd and 23 and 3rd and 28. Now I expect some type of screen or draw, maybe a tunnel screen to Heidenreich.
3rd and 28. It's going to be Horvath who breaks one tackle, but not the second. Well short. Brody Bueno on the stop.
Don't love that call there by Brian Newberry's bunch, because why take an extra hit on the quarterback, right? I mean, he's your most important player, one of the best players in the country so far. I would have gotten that ball to one of the skill guys in space and not make number 11 take a couple more hits.
And importantly, the Air Force defense backs up that stunning touchdown throw by the backup quarterback Quentin Hayes. Angle is deep. Reithman has hit a long one. And he makes the fair catch at the 19, 50 yards on the punt. Navy looked like they were going to run away. Air Force, though, down 7. All the news is not good for Air Force, though. This is Peyton Zadroik. He's irreplaceable on that defensive line.
Well, he's their best football player. He's the best player on the entire team. Look at his calves, by the way. And that would be a major, major loss if he's out. You wonder if Navy starts to try to run the ball up the middle more, if Zadroik can't come back in this game. Quentin
Hayes struck for a long touchdown throw to bring Air Force within 7. This is his second drive of this game and only the 3rd drive of his career. And Hayes in the pocket, keeps it. Nice move there. Oh, as he hit. Ramos introduces himself to the sophomore.
That last drive for Air Force started with them being able to get to the perimeter a little bit with Frew. Then they had some nice runs up the middle to get a first down. And you saw at the bottom of the screen, the penalty on Lane was critical. And then the next play, Lane not able to make the tackle. So a rough couple plays there for arguably Navy's best player.
Hayes took the hit, seems to be all right. And this second down play goes nowhere. P.J. Volker's had to, he's almost like an SEC defensive coordinator with a team that runs tempo, because Navy's offense has been such a quick strike that all of a sudden the time of possession, which Navy usually dominates, is on the other side. And he's having to play his defense a high number of snaps.
Well, and they've had big leads too. This is a critical play though in this game. 3rd and 5. Every time you got to be at work for Hayes' legs.
Pitch. And this is Camaro Breyer. Excuse me, Cade Frew on the carry, and he's short.
That's a pretty conservative 3rd and 5 call right there.
And they're about 1.5 yards, 2 yards short of that first down.
You know, I like when Hayes drops back to pass because it's either there and he throws it or he runs it. That might have been some type of read play, the way he's talking to the coaches when he comes over. I don't know if maybe they wanted him to fake the toss and then throw it or take it himself.
This punt going into the wind and a low end over end. Let's see what kind of bounce. That's a good bounce, certainly, for Air Force as it rolls down close to the 20-yard line. That ended up being a 51-yard punt. They mark it right at the 21. Gorgeous, gorgeous day. The Front Range here in Colorado. CBS next Sunday. Justin Hartley returns as America's favorite hero. A new season of Tracker starts on CBS next Sunday, kicking off CBS Premier Week and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Looks like that guy could be tracking somewhere down this road here in Colorado. That kind of look like Colorado.
First 5 possessions. Air Force's defense has played pretty darn well. Without Zadroik, though, at the nose tackle on this drive, and this is Horvath, who is 1 tackle away from breaking that. As it is, that's about a 16-yard carry.
Once again, when they seal the edge, it's Heidenreich out there. It's Fofana. Man, I love the way the backs for Navy block in space, really for all 3 service academies, but in particular, those guys. And you're right. If Horvath didn't run into the back of his own teammate right there, that might have been another house call for a guy who's only behind Ashton Jeanty in yards per carry.
Yeah, Ashton Jeanty, the great back for Boise State, and Horvath is going to get to the 39-yard line. I mean, look, maybe his best moments were against Memphis this year. He had a 90-yard run for a touchdown. He had 416 total yards. And Navy beat Memphis, their biggest win of the year so far, 56-44.
You know, it's funny, when we asked him, he started 1 game last year against North Texas. I said, do you think you could have been doing this last year? He said, honestly, no. He said, last year we were playing multiple quarterbacks, and I felt like I was looking over my shoulder a little bit. They are playing free under Drew Franz.
Play action, nice throw there. And a catch at the 40, and that's Heidenreich, who's everywhere on the field. Hendricks made the stop for Air Force.
Heidenreich could play receiver for a lot of teams in this country. He's going to be coming left side of your screen. You'll see him run just a little out route after a block, and Horvath puts it right on him. Horvath said anytime 22 is running any type of route with a move, I'm pretty much looking at him first.
First and 10 into Air Force territory. Looked like an option. It's a throwback to the other side, and Kent, I don't know if he got his foot down. He didn't. That's incomplete. What a throw, though, by Horvath. Going to his opposite side, pivoting, and then firing to the sideline on target. Ooh, that's close.
Ooh, you know, you see the black pellets. Let's watch his feet. Ooh, I don't know.
I saw pellets.
They might have to take a look at this. Are you kidding me? If he made look at the left 6-foot dragon, and he has it.
Gene Steratore taught us if you see pellets, that's a foot inbound.
That might be a ridiculous catch by Eli Heidenreich. At first glance, I didn't think it was even close, but the left toe might have been in by a centimeter as he secured the football.
All right, Gene, does pellets equal catch in this case?
I think it does, Rich. I think Heidenreich makes an amazing catch, and I think, as Ross alluded to, too, as soon as that football gets to his hand, he sticks that football. So we know the ball's not moving, and as you said, there's our pellets. You see them still go, and I know we lose it for a second, but on that multiple angles, I think this is a great shot here, fellas. You can still see those pellets popping up. A great catch, and he maintains possession of the football going to the ground, which he also has to do, and I think an amazing catch. I believe they'll overturn this to completion.
That is incredible. I mean, my comment was going to be that Horvath waited too long to throw it, right? You know, he barely gave Heidenreich a chance.
The receiver possessed the ball and got his right foot down inbounds. It is a catch for a first down.
Nice work, Gene.
Well, I think we're 2 for 2 on these replays. I think Gene is 2 for 2 in favor of the guy from Pittsburgh.
That's right. Let's go down to Tiff.
When I talked to Heidenreich, he told me he played receiver in high school, so a lot of it has carried over to college, from the route running to the steady hands, and he said the footwork, which we just saw in that play.
And his position, Tiff, is noted as snipe. That's the snipe position that Heidenreich and Chapman play. It's kind of a wing back or a slot back. But Drew Cronick likes to call it the snipe. Horvath, great move there. And he's inside the 5 and close to the first down. Our red zone brought to you by Verizon. Nobody better in the red zone in the country than Navy.
Navy going right on the ball. They like to do this when they feel like they have you on the ropes. So, all right, now they're going to huddle a little bit. Interesting. You know, in a lot of these option plays,
that's just ridiculous.
It is. But in a lot of these option plays, Rich, it feels like there's a lot of space for Horvath when he's running out there. They might have to use a timeout here now.
Play clock down. We're under 4 minutes left, second quarter.
First charge.
Brian Newberry in his second year wanted to make a
left.
change with his offense. He told us, I want my offense and defense to be different than anybody in the country. And the man in the gold shirt there was the guy he hired, Drew Cronick. And that's, I think, you know, when you made the comment about Horvath saying, I probably wasn't ready last year, well, mix in the fact that Cronick showed up, and he and Horvath had all spring and all summer to work on his throwing. And you really have something here.
Well, what I'm struck by is when they have run some of their option plays, there's a lot of space. I mean, usually there's only one defender out there, and there's a lot of space for Horvath and the pitch man, and all Air Force does is defend the option. So the fact that they have that much space running the option against Air Force of all teams bodes really well against all the other teams on their schedule.
Fofana is the fullback. This is 2nd and 1. They're inside the 4. Fofana left side has the first down. So it's 1st and goal now. Houston Hendricks, the stop for Air Force.
It's a nice tackle by Hendricks.
38 or more points in the first 4 games. It's never happened.
I don't know that they are going to give it to him, Rich.
Really?
Yeah, they're going to say he's a little bit short here. 3rd and short.
The reaction from Navy was it was a first down, but maybe the knee was down before the ball came across the line to gain.
Looks like QB sneak here.
A little push from Heidenreich, and Horvath has the first down.
I love seeing 2 Air Force defenders put up their fists like 4th down. He got 1.5 yards, fellas. It wasn't even close. I think defensive players are just so trained at this point to put up their fist to say he literally got 1.5 yards there at the 2-yard line. That was a very effective quarterback sneak, and you'd think that Air Force would have been ready for it because of the fact that there was no back that he could have handed the ball to.
And remember, no Peyton's adroit at the nose tackle right now for Air Force. And Horvath goes straight up the middle. I think he's in. He is. Touchdown, Navy. 16 of 16. All touchdowns in the red zone.
Quarterback follow, right? So he fakes it to Fofana and then follows Fofana right into the hole. Let's make sure he got in. Yeah, I think he did. All that you need is any part of that brown to touch any part of that white before you're down. And Horvath has yet another rushing touchdown already on this season.
8 plays, 79 yards. It took 3 minutes. Troy Calhoun and Air Force now. Once again, down 2 scores. Eli Heidenreich, Blake Horvath. Important pellets there. And another touchdown here. 21-7 Navy. This is the first game in the chase for the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. Navy a 21-7 lead over Air Force. And it's, of course, the final game in the chase for that trophy. 70 days to go in the countdown to Army-Navy, presented by USAA. Saturday, December 14th, CBS Sports.
My single favorite day of the year, every year. Highly encourage anyone to attend if you can. If not, watch it on TV. The atmosphere is like nothing else.
And of course, Navy and Army are both 4-0.
Yeah.
If they keep rolling like this, there might be a playoff spot on the line in that game. Look at Army, 21-7.
Kind of like anything you can do, I can do better, or at least the same at this point.
This is an important spot here for Air Force. We talk about the middle 8, last 4 of the first half, first 4 of the second half. They get the football to start the second half if they can get any points out of these 2 minutes and 37 seconds. It'll help them tremendously.
Still have 2 timeouts, but obviously this is not what their offense is best designed for.
We'll keep it on the ground. Ramos made the stop. Carson on the carry.
So we'll see if they go on the ball here to try to get another playoff before the 2-minute timeout, or if they elect to let it go down to the 2 minutes because they don't want to give the quick strike Navy offense time on the back end of this in case they don't get the first down.
I think you nailed it right there. Navy does have 2 timeouts.
I think Calhoun wants to make sure they actually get a first down before he starts stopping the clock or giving Navy a chance to get the ball back.
2-minute timeout in Colorado Springs. 21-7 Navy. Adam, I mean, look, if Army goes 5-0 and Navy goes 5-0, you can see that the longest active win streak, both of the Navy and Army schedules include a neutral site game against Notre Dame down the road.
That's not going to be easy for Notre Dame. And Boucher is back in the game at quarterback. I think he's just got a little bit more experience running the 2-minute offense.
Second down at 7. Of course, it was Quentin Hayes who threw that long touchdown pass to Trey Roberson. Boucher, a pitch. And a nice move there by Cade Harris. And Harris, the playmaker, is out to midfield, and that's perfectly done by Troy Calhoun.
And this is the guy they need to get the ball to. We haven't talked about him a whole lot, but Cade Harris is the guy in space. He's their best playmaker. Look at him just make Pierce whiff in open space like that.
There is a Navy player down at the 43. Air Force has 2 timeouts, and they have a field goal kicker with a big leg. We'll take a timeout. 21-7 Navy. Here's a look at that last tackle.
Almost like it was friendly fire at the very tail end of that play.
And it was Andrew Duhart who was the injured player for Navy. Now Hayes is back in, and Hayes' throw is incomplete on 1st and 10. So Air Force is rotating quarterbacks on this drive.
Wow. Yeah, you don't see that very often. I just assumed when Boucher was back out there that he's more of the 2-minute guy. As you see, Duhart went into the medical tent. But maybe because they're at midfield already, Rich, maybe they don't feel like they need to run the 2-minute offense. Remember, in college football, the clock still stops on first downs under 2 minutes while they set the chains.
Hayes on the handoff, and Navy was waiting there. Justin Reed made the hit.
Landon Robinson, 96, got in there as well.
Tyler Latham with the carry.
Air Force taking their time here. Maybe I would say a little bit more time than you would think. I mean, they're down 2 touchdowns. They're spending way too much time in the huddle for my liking. Again, with it being 3rd and 10, I think they're worried about giving Navy too much time on the back end of this.
Let's see if Navy brings pressure. Still Hayes. He's flushed and dropped. And let's see if Navy takes a timeout. Jackson Campbell on the blitz. And Navy has stopped the clock.
Watch Campbell here. You're going to see Carson. He's got the blitz pickup right there. The fullback Carson. And Campbell jumps right over. Look at that. Whoa. Jumps right over him. If you're going to cut like that, if you're Carson, you got to wait till the last second, and you got to aim for the high thigh board. Carson went way too low, and Campbell skied over him rather easily for the sack.
These matchups are an offensive lineman's dream. If you, a NFL
Hey, that was a running back.
lineman.
That was a running back blitz pickup right there. That wasn't even highlighting a lineman.
I know, but still,
yes, you're right. I adore these games because I adore physical football and I love these young men. I mean, all these people here, even the cadets and the midshipmen in the stands, for them to make the decision they make at 17 or 18 years old to live a different life for at least 9 years, I'm in awe of their maturity.
They're the best of the best. Heidenreich runs up, makes the catch, fair catch at the 18. If you're just joining us, where you been? You're missing a great show from Blake Horvath, the Navy quarterback.
More like Blake Stallbath, am I right?
Yeah.
I mean, people are starting to use those nicknames for him. He keeps scoring touchdowns like this and putting up big plays down the field. He might start to get his name mentioned a little bit. I mean, that throw right there, to be rolling left, almost like a run and shoot offense, and then throw it all the way back to his buddy Heidenreich. He is well on his way to yet another fantastic stat line. And this against an Air Force defense that's been top 10 in the country 4 years straight.
And like Roger the Dodger, Horvath's name should start popping up on all the Heisman leader lists. Horvath option. There's a late pitch, and that's Chapman. And Chapman is out of bounds.
So Navy only has one timeout.
By the way, Verizon halftime reports coming up. Adam, Aaron, Rick, BJ break down the first half, all the highlights here in week 6. And of course, Aaron Taylor was excited about this matchup too.
Absolutely, Aaron Taylor. Last couple years, I would watch you and Aaron Taylor calling some of these CIC games and love every second of it.
Chapman. And another nice run. Clock stops with the first down. Chains will move. This is the 2-minute offense of an explosive Navy club. Horvath at the controls.
Back-to-back runs. Let's see if they come back here with a pass now. Taking a little bit too much time. Should have already had the play called.
Already 281 total yards. Horvath play action. Lots of time. Now out of it. Swings it out. Caught by Chapman. Race to the sideline. And he's out of bounds. They're still a ways away from field goal range.
You're going to think I'm crazy, Rich. That was one of Horvath's best plays of the game. That's a winning play right there. He wanted to throw the deep post. He wanted to take the shot. He thought better of it, checked it down, didn't get sacked, and at least the check down was able to get out of bounds so they can save that timeout. They want to try to get to about the 36-yard line for like a 53-yard.
You saw Nathan Kirkwood, Navy's field goal kicker. Now Horvath rolling. and looking, and he'll tuck and tiptoe out of bounds. This one won't make the highlight reel, though.
No, but look, he wanted to go deep down the field. He was about to throw it, and then he thought better of it. He's about to get sacked, which would have been devastating, because then they would have had to use their timeout to at least get a positive play and to get the clock stopped. Still gives them a chance for points on this drive.
And partner, he was a triple option quarterback solely through high school. They really had to work with him in the offseason on his throwing and running some of the spread concepts that this offense contains.
He was going to go to D2 Ashland until Navy offered him late.
Horvath option here. That's a mini pitch.
Oh, no.
Hide right.
And they got him in bounds.
And so this Navy drive in the final moments of the first half feels like it's fizzling out.
Well, I think there was a timeout now by Air Force, which is smart, because if you're Calhoun, Navy's going to punt it away. Wouldn't be surprised if Air Force comes after this punt.
Brent Newberry last year, his first year as the head coach, he said he really didn't feel comfortable the whole year. And it wasn't until the end of the season and then on in the offseason where he really started to feel comfortable as the head coach at Navy. Man, that hire of Drew Cronick, the start this year to go 4-0, 3-0 in conference. He is very comfortable now.
So if you go after the punt here and you block it, you got a great chance to score. If you rough the punter, though, you might give Navy a chance to score. So you got to go to the punt point.
Reithman gets the punt away. My goodness. Massive kick into the end zone. That's a 50-yard punt, excuse me, a 60-yard punt.
Well, you love that he hit it that far, but you'd rather have it be in the field of play somewhere so that the clock would have kept moving. At any rate, with only 7 seconds left at their own 20, I'd expect Air Force to just take a knee and not take a chance of any negative play.
Navy has not won here since 2012.
They haven't won. They've lost their last 4 CIC games to Army and Air Force, the longest drought in 30 years.
Keenan Reynolds was a young quarterback back then in 2012. Navy got that win. Air Force has the football to start the third quarter. Navy on display. No surprise they're 4-0. They were dominant here in this first half. On the road, Commander-in-Chief Trophy game. 21-7 lead for Navy. For Tiffany's halftime interview with Coach Newberry, go to X at CBS Sports CFP. Now, on to New York. Adam Zucker, our New York studio, the Verizon halftime report. First half numbers, Navy and Air Force. The offense dominating for Navy. They're on pace to go over 550 total yards. They have a 21-7 lead. Rich Waltz along with Ross Tucker. Tiffany Blackman joins us shortly. To see them on tape is one thing. To see them in person, this Navy offense is so much fun.
Yeah, they are as advertised, right? I mean, they have almost 200 yards rushing. They already have 100 yards passing. It's the balance that really stands out to me. You don't see that very often from these service academy programs.
And the play calling is fun as well, right? On 4th and 2?
Are you kidding me? I mean, Drew Cronick, their new offensive coordinator, this is one of the reasons why Navy's had so much success so far this year and why the Navy fans love them. 4th and 2 to run a reverse like that for a touchdown. Super impressive.
And before we start the second half, we check in with Tiffany Blackman. Tiff?
Guys, I spoke with Coach Calhoun for Air Force, and I have an injury update for you. He told me nose guard Peyton Zadroik will not return to this game. No clarity on what the injury is. Now, as for whether or not we'll see both quarterbacks continue to play in this one, he said yes. So expect to see John Boucher and Quentin Hayes back out here on the field, guys.
All right, Tiffany, thank you. Now, 1st and 10, it is Hayes to start this drive. Hayes on the option. And Hayes breaks across the 40. That's the explosiveness that the Air Force staff told us about they get with this sophomore.
Yeah, it kind of looked like Hazik Daniels there, right? The longtime Air Force quarterback recently. He hit another gear there when he turned that up the field. I would expect to see him running quite a bit more here in the second half. He looks like he gives them another dynamic threat in the backfield.
Dylan Carson is the fullback. And Hayes will keep it again. He takes a good shot there by Colin Ramos, the captain of the Navy defense. The comparison in the second half, it has been a struggle for Air Force.
And that's so surprising because usually with these option offenses and the Service Academy offenses, they wear down their opponent. And so they start to get more yards per carry in the second half. That's kind of the inverse of what you would normally think.
Carson again after a 5-yard gain. This one maybe half a yard. Landon Robinson up front, maybe the most improved player coming out of the spring.
And if you're going to try to tackle a fullback, you better come downhill. This is linebacker 101. Watch Kyle Jacob, 43. He sees the, he's not waiting. I'm going right now. Now, just based on that, that's one where I believe they should have pulled the ball and taken it himself. Nobody's blocking Jacob at the point of attack. Quentin Hayes needs to pull that ball.
Hayes lost the ball. Did he get it back? Navy's in the scrum. And it looks like Air Force got it back.
These are the type of things that happen sometimes in these games. He wanted to pull it, I think. He was trying to pull it, but he was looking right at Justin Reed, 94, when he did. You know, Carson might have been able to have a nice run there. I don't know if he's trying to pull it or not. I think the read might have been to give it there for Hayes. That's a critical error there because Air Force was moving the ball decently well for a little bit.
4th down at 5 near midfield. Freer trying to knock this one inside the 20, knocks it out of bounds. Let's watch the official on the far side, see where he comes to rest. And that is where Navy starts their first second half drive. Can't miss TV. Blake Horvath on the scene. 21-7 Navy, their first possession now, 3rd quarter. Eli Heidenreich has been unstoppable.
Well, that's who Blake Horvath said he looks for pretty much anytime he runs around. Just look how open he is on some of these plays. Horvath is looking to 22, nice over-the-shoulder catch, and then just this beauty. I mean, Horvath, that was a ridiculous throw and an even better catch for the snipe from Mount Lebanon High School outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Just a sophomore. He came in a package deal with the fullback, Alex Teska. Horvath, play action. They're going to the air right away. Horvath scrambling, fires, and it's incomplete. I mean, they were inseparable. They've been playing since Little League, since Pop Warner, all the time. Heidenreich and Teska.
And that looks like the state championship game right there. I watched that on TV. They beat vaunted St. Joe's Prep. St. Joe's Prep is like Kyle McCord and Marvin Harrison Jr., DeAndre Swift, and Mount Lebanon took them down when Teska and Heidenreich were seniors. It was an epic game and a terrific performance from those two teammates.
On 2nd down at 10. And there is Teska. And we go down to Tiff.
Yeah, guys, Heidenreich told me how special it is to be able to play with Teska here because, as you guys talked about, they've been buddies for quite some time. But you mentioned the package deal, Rich. Hey, Heidenreich was quick to tell me he was the first one to commit here, and he likes to kind of joke around and let Teska know that.
Yeah, the position is called snipe, Drew Cronick told us, for no other reason than they're going to get you.
Yeah.
Horvath trying to get the first down and put the ball out and gets knocked into the bench of Air Force. And I think he has the first down. Let's see where they mark it.
He's a very comfortable player, right? Like, it just feels like Horvath's always in control. Okay, it's not there. I need 9 yards. I know exactly what I can do to get the 9 yards. Jump over the first down line to continue to go. extends the ball before he goes out of bounds. Just a really heads-up play by a smart kid, and not just GPA. He is football smart. He told us he wants to be a naval aviator, like Top Gun. I gotta tell you, Rich, that's exactly who I want to be our pilots. A guy like Horvath.
Horvath on the sideline is just going to lob this one over the Air Force bench. Air Force's defense is without Peyton Zadroik, their nose tackle, an all-conference type player, and 3 important linebackers are down for this game, as well as a defensive back, a safety, and Kyle Chen. So Air Force has suffered some significant injuries last week against Wyoming and today against Navy. Teska and Chapman in the backfield on 2nd and 10. Horvath, quick hitter. That's good coverage there. Heidenreich makes the catch. Trey Williams coming up, and there is Zadroik. That left knee is wrapped and braced.
Oh, man, I really hate seeing that. He's such a fun player. He's such an awesome player. And he missed last year due to injury. So all those stats he has are from a couple years ago. He does have one more year of athletic eligibility after this through what's called a turnback. We can talk about that a little bit later in the game.
They're down at 4. Horvath cuts, and he's got the first down out to the 45. So Navy moving the change in their first possession, second half.
You can tell he was a triple option quarterback in high school, right? Nice block from Teska, but he's just so comfortable making these reads and the cuts off of some of these various blocks. The area, as you said, Rich, he's really improved is in throwing the ball. He said we only threw the ball maybe 60 times his entire senior year of high school.
7th play of this drive, just inside the 44. Heidenreich around the ends. 11 more yards. He is the prototype for this position.
He is, and watch him follow his buddy, Teska. We were just telling the story. Just follow your high school teammate, your buddy since 1st grade. Teska with a nice block on Jake Martin on the edge enables Heidenreich to get the first down. How cool is that? Just for their parents, they probably carpool to Annapolis together. For those guys, when they have off times, just a really special story.
This is Fofana, gets a block, and a good one there from Javon Bouton, the senior. Jake Martin makes the stop, and another nice gain for Navy.
And right now, the yards are coming way too easy on the ground for the Naval Academy. Air Force needs to figure out a way to stiffen here, because as much time as the midshipmen are taking off the clock, even just one more score would make this really, really difficult for Air Force to try to get back in it.
And they're very close to field goal range, so they're not thinking about that. Horvath, lots of time, unloads deep, and it's over the head of Isaiah Bryant.
So he overthrew him there, and obviously it's not what you're looking for. But this passing game and these deep shots that they take, you'll see it'll end up being the bottom right of the screen here. They are so helpful for everything Navy does in the running game, right? Because so often to stop Navy's rushing attack, the safeties have to be involved. Well, good luck running up to stop the run when they're taking deep shots multiple times a game over your head.
3rd and 2, 10th play of the drive. Teska, the fullback, his hit and stopped, and he's short. So the ball sits at the 37. There's a little wind at the back for Navy if they wanted to try a long field goal here.
And Newberry knows ahead of the time what they're going to do in these situations, and he tells Drew Cronick, the offensive coordinator, exactly what the number is. In other words, he might have said 2, meaning if we get to 4th and 2, we're going to go for it. He goes over all the analytics with Danny Payne, the recruiting coordinator, the night before the game. So they know ahead of time that they're going for it 4th and 2 in this spot.
Remember the last time they had a 4th and 2, it was an option reverse and a long touchdown. Horvath trying to get it on his own. and he does inside the 35. He lands at the 33. Camby Goff, the stop for Air Force.
He has another gear. Horvath can kick it into another gear. That wasn't all that well blocked. He was able to get past Aiden Swartz and then just turn the corner. But Horvath's looking like one of these Navy quarterbacks that when you get to this time where it's 4th and 2 or 4th and 3, he's going to be able to just use his wheels to get you just enough.
They've eaten up over 5 minutes already on the drive. Pressure, Horvath, and a flag. Nathan Kent, the intended receiver, and it looked like interference from Trey Williams.
Didn't need to do it. Williams had really nice coverage. He just didn't turn around to make a play for the football. Might have been able to intercept it. I mean, he was stride for stride with Kent.
Pass interference. Defense. 40. 15-yard penalty. First down.
It's a first penalty on Air Force in this game.
Well, what's interesting to me about that is we were at practice on Thursday, Rich, and Trey Williams was getting, let's call it a talking to from his coach about being too handsy and saying, you can't practice that stuff. You can't practice that way.
All right, it bears repeating. This is incredible. 16 trips, 16 touchdowns in the red zone. Nobody in the country is even close to that. And here they are in the red zone again. Horvath keeps. Horvath almost broke it. He's inside the 10 and down to the 8.
This is the quarterback follow, and Navy's going to go right on the football. That is so well blocked, and Horvath almost broke it.
On the handoff, it's Chapman. And Air Force had it sniffed out.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
That was Bellamy who came up with a hit.
You wonder if Navy could potentially throw it so that Horvath gets a touchdown pass, because he doesn't have one yet in this game.
Verizon, red zone.
Horvath just changed the play. He sees man-to-man coverage on the outside.
Straight ahead, end zone, touchdown, Teska. What an impressive drive.
Boy, was that well blocked. Horvath just checked to the inside dive, and the left side of the line, especially the Western PA left tackle, Connor McMahon, created a huge seam. And this Navy offense is an absolute wagon.
Oh, good.
Hit the left upright.
You could hear the doink. But a 27-7 lead. Brian Newberry, Alex Teska, the midshipman, sailing through this defense. It's 27-7. And by Verizon. So Navy now seemingly in control of this game on a long drive. Alex Teska, his high school buddy Eli Heidenreich, both important on that drive. Cade Harris is deep for Air Force.
Well, and Cade Harris is a guy Air Force need to get the ball to. I'm a little bit surprised that they haven't gotten the ball to number 21 more often.
So Air Force down 27-7. They have rotated quarterbacks in this one. We'll see what they do here. We're set for big time at the Horseshoe. Big Ten battle coming up, Iowa and number 3 Ohio State. We'll get you out to Brad, Gary, and Jenny in Columbus coming up next right here on CBS. Streaming on Paramount Plus.
I will be watching that via Paramount Plus in the car on the way to the airport.
Wait a minute, you're not driving, are you?
No. I'm riding. I'm riding in the car to the airport.
Just wanted to clarify that.
No, but I love watching. Well, I mean, Ohio State is incredibly talented, but I think Iowa has the best coach defense in the country. I love just watching how they take on blocks and shed them. Nobody's better than the Hawkeyes. That should be a fun watch.
Dylan Carson with that last carry gets a yard. Quentin Hayes at quarterback. John Boucher started for Air Force. Didn't go quite well. Then Quentin Hayes entered the picture. And he threw a touchdown strike to Trey Roberson and has had some success on the ground as well. Tyler Latham. And this is going nowhere either. Okay, playoff bracket. I know it's early. Why not have this discussion now, especially with Ohio State coming up? Boise State right now is the entrant for the group of 5. But, you know, if you're a Navy, if you're Army, and you keep winning and keep winning, you never know.
No, you don't.
Highest rated conference champion gets that spot. They're down 8, and the whistle stops play. Early movement.
Ball start. Offense number 76. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
I think for that spot, Ross, you know, Boise State had that heartbreaking loss at Oregon on a last-second field goal. Here you got Navy looking like 5-0. Army was up big. They could be 5-0.
And neither one of them, it had been since 1945 since they were both even 4-0. So let's see what the stats are for the last time since they were both 5-0. You're talking World War II.
Hayes to throw, scrambles, hit as he throws, it's caught, and it's complete at the 44. Trey Roberson. Hayes was absolutely blistered, and Roberson somehow got a foot down.
I think Air Force might have something to Hayes. Let's make sure he got in. Look at him crouching. They might need to take a look at that to see if the knee or the shin was down before he secured it. Let's see. Tough to tell with Heidenreich's helmet right there.
It's a 33-yard gain if it's a catch.
Pass is under further review.
I don't know that we're going to see pellets like we did with Heidenreich.
Well, he definitely secured the ball. I think the question is just whether or not that left shin touched the white before he secured the ball. This would be another beautiful catch, though, if it stands. And, of course, the ruling on the field was that it was a catch.
All right, we'll take a look at all the angles. Roberson certainly was selling catch. Gene Steratore, we've had a couple looks. Call on the field is catch. What you got?
Yeah, Rich, and Roberson does a great job with both feet not being out of bounds. The feet are definitely in. It's what Ross alluded to as well. It's that left knee or left shin. And boy, this one is just as close as the other two have been, fellas. But I think he secures this. It's just a matter of that left knee. The ball doesn't move at all. So we know at that point he secured it. I really can't make a determining factor as to whether that knee is down or not on that angle, and the ruling on the field was a catch. So I don't see anything really that can overturn it at this point.
Man, all 3 of these have been super close. I'm a little nervous to ruin our undefeated streak. I think they'll keep the call on the field. Right there, is the knee down before he secures it? That left knee might be down before he secures it, but I'm not sure there's enough to overturn it from these angles. This might be the best one. Oh, no, I think he has it.
And a correction.
That's the best angle right there.
And a correction, with the gray numerals with the black jerseys are tough to see. Far sideline. That's actually Tyler Latham, the junior.
Yeah, Roberson was 5 yards ahead with Rayon Lane, and one of them got a hand on the ball. This is another one of those, like Gene and I were talking about earlier, Rich, where if it takes this long, I don't know how you overturn the call on the field.
Well, the other one took a long time, and they did. That was a great catch by Heidenreich.
Sometimes there's a play that goes to review, and it's obvious and easy. None of our 3 have been that.
Your point about Quentin Hayes is a good one, though. He has shown signs of being dynamic with his feet, which is such a key to Air Force being able to throw the football. and it looks like he can do that as well.
And his arm, yeah.
After viewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. It's first down at the 44-yard line.
I think this was the best angle. Look, the ball got tipped, but watch. He has it right there and nothing's down. Then the left knee goes down. That's another beautiful catch. I mean, these teams that are known for just run the ball every time, they must work on their toe taps and sideline catches enough.
Now a pitch and a bruising run there into the 41-yard line. It's Terrence Gist getting his first carry. Armed Forces football, proudly supported by Serve Pro. You're seeing a lot of sophomores in the game right now for this Air Force team. Hayes, of course, the quarterback, is a sophomore. As you pointed out, this is the most inexperienced team. They're not necessarily young. They just haven't had a lot of snaps across the board to the 39-yard line.
I mean, look at that. They only had 4 returning starters. So I guess I would say Air Force getting off to their worst start since 2018 at 1-3. This was kind of expected. I mean, they had so many veteran guys the last 3 years when they went 29-10 and had 3 straight bowl wins that they kind of knew. I mean, the math is the math. You graduate 18 starters, you're only going to have 4 coming back.
Quick pitch and a great tackle. Harris, he has been tracked all over this place. Deshaun Peel makes the stop there.
Second big-time tackle by Peel in this game. Love corners that can tackle. That is Harris in space. That is a tough guy to bring down. That's the second time Peel has been up for the challenge. Air Force going to go for it. I agree. This is kind of no man's land. If you punt it at this point, what does it really do for you? And it's too far for a field goal. But straight drop back pass is not their strength.
Hayes straight back, sets up, flips it out. Latham with a catch, and he's not going to get it. Navy stops him. Andrew Duhart coming up to make the play. And the midshipmen with a big lead get the ball back late in the third in Colorado Springs. That's a pretty excited group, right? Naval Mobile Construction Battalion 1, Camp Mitchell in Spain. Navy in control, first leg, Commander-in-Chief Trophy chase. And you can see 4-game losing streak to the Falcons, but they've solved that offensive problem today.
Well, they certainly have, and thank you from me and my family to all those folks over there in Spain, and really any man or woman serving in any branch all across the world. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to have fun calling football games like this.
Amen to that. Blake Horvath and Navy now just outside their 40. Horvath pulls it, looking on the move. Nice find there. That's Heidenreich. Who else? Inside the 35, down to the 32. Jake Martin made the stop.
Horvath completes the pass to Heidenreich.
Horvath is legit. I'm telling you, the more I watch Blake Horvath, the more I think he is an absolute star and a Heisman candidate. Watch this. Watch how late he throws it. He doesn't even look at him till the very end. He knows the whole time, if it's not there on the front side, I've got Eli Heidenreich coming across on the crossing route. Just so impressed with how poised Horvath is in every way.
Look at the numbers for Heidenreich in this one. That's Fofana with the carry. It feels like the college football world is just more fun and better when Navy is 5-0 and Army looks like they're going to be 5-0, right?
No question. Well, especially because you know about the game coming up, America's game at the end of the year, although, as was talked about a lot this week, there is a chance that they play the week before as well for the American Championship, which would really be something. Can you imagine back-to-back games? The rematch would be fascinating if that happened.
Yeah, the Army-Navy game is not counted as a conference game in the American, but it could have someone bidding for a playoff spot. Horvath, play action, end zone shot, and it's over Kent's head. American standings. This is some sight. Army 3-0, Navy 3-0, both leading today. There's some tough games in there, though, for both of these teams. You know, Navy has to go to South Florida. They've got Tulane at home. They go to East Carolina to finish. And, of course, they have that Notre Dame game at MetLife Stadium, neutral site. Same with Army. They've got some tests, and they have Notre Dame at a neutral site, Yankee Stadium. That's a pitch to Chapman. And he is stopped. There are players down for both teams on this play.
Navy's going to take this to the corner and then have a decision to make on 4th down, but that was a significant collision.
Step aside. 15 seconds left in this 3rd quarter. Air Force Academy, Colorado Springs, 27-7, Navy on top. They are driving. A couple of injuries. Let's take a look at this collision.
Yeah, watch the middle of your screen. It's Teska as he's blocking his right ankle, and Galier, 22, was the guy on the ground. So it actually was neither one of the guys involved in that hard collision right there. It wasn't Goff and Chapman. It was the 2 guys in front of them that both picked up injuries.
Navy's going to attempt a field goal. It's the first field goal attempt by either team. Nathan Kirkwood, 2 for 2.
And I wonder if Newberry wants to get his confidence up after that bad extra point.
Good snap. Not a good kick.
Well, so much for that. And they could have taken it to the corner, and they didn't do that. The clock was running.
Air Force is looking for any scrap of momentum they can find.
So number one, they should have let it wait till the end of the quarter. Was this ball tipped? Yeah, it was. It's a nice job by Daniel Grobe, 95. Watch 95 get that right hand on it right there. Hit those top 3 fingers. He skied high. Makes sense for an Air Force guy. Kind of a double whammy there for Navy, right? You don't take it to the end of the quarter, and you get the field goal blocked. So much for trying to get Kirkwood's confidence back.
Quentin Hayes at the controls for Air Force. And they'll keep it on the ground. Gist getting some run at the fullback spots. 3 quarters in. First game, Commander-in-Chief series. And yeah, it's been all Navy so far. Watch party still hanging in there for Air Force. The Airmen Joint Base in Langley in Virginia.
I love seeing the families there, you know, the spouses and the kids. My mom was an Army brat, so I have a great appreciation, not just for the servicemen and women, but for the sacrifices that the families make as well. I think she went to 9 different schools growing up, all over the country and international. She lived in Germany twice.
My father was a Marine, so I knew how to make a bed. On the ground, and Air Force is moving the football.
I kind of like this Gist.
He's a junior out of Taylor's, South Carolina. Had just 10 career carries before this one, and that's 11 more yards. The fullback for Air Force is so important. And it's, look, Brad Roberts was
unbelievable,
the best that's ever done it here. Hard to replace him. Hayes, Justin Reed hit him. They were senior laden last year. They went 9-4, 5-3, tied for 4th in the Mountain West, won their 5th straight bowl game. But the price they paid was all those seniors, and a couple of those guys on the far right are in the NFL right now, Trey Taylor and Bo Richter.
Well, they lost their top 6 tacklers, and you know, a lot of those guys had an extra year of eligibility that they utilized because of the COVID year.
That's a nice throw on the run. Quinn Smith with the catch. And a nice play for Air Force inside the 30 down to the 26-yard line.
Well, listen, this game isn't over yet. Not with the way Hayes has been playing. I like this young quarterback for Air Force. I think the Falcons have something in him. He's got some juice as a runner, and so far he's been more than capable as a passer.
That's movement, and I think Navy may be offside here.
The question is whether or not Jacob got in the neutral zone when McManich, the left guard, moved.
Offside. Defense number 43, causing an offensive reaction. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Causing an offensive reaction.
Well, so that's actually one of the points of emphasis this year, is if you simulate the start of a play like 43 did there, and I think he was in the neutral zone, they're going to call the penalty on you.
Air Force doesn't have the right people on the field, and that's going to mean Navy has a chance. If they want to make a change, they can make a change, and here comes a couple defenders on.
Air Force might have to use a timeout here.
And they're going slowly,
Navy
Navy is.
Call timeout. That's smart by Navy.
Yes, they took their time coming on and off. When you make a late change on offense, the defense can do it at their leisure, and they did. We told you Navy is the best in the country in the red zone. Air Force hasn't been there yet. They're just outside the 20 at the 21-yard line. Sophomore Quentin Hayes has come off the bench to provide a spark for Air Force. First down at 5. Hayes had to unload it, and he does nicely there. And that's the first catch for Cade Harris, and he's got the first down. He's out of bounds at the 16.
I like that from Hayes. Watch, Hayes didn't stress when he's under pressure. He knew Cade Harris was coming out underneath the formation. Nice play by Hayes. His first extended playing time. He has been impressive, and I'd like to see them throw the ball to number 21 even more. He had 5 for 106 last week against Wyoming. That was his first one today, as you said, Rick.
He has only 4 touches, does Harris, and 3 of those are runs. Into the red zone for the first time is Air Force, and they are churning some yardage now. Dylan Carson, the big fullback, eats up another chunk.
And this game is not over. I mean, Air Force scores a touchdown here. You got a 2-score game with plenty of time left. So you see how he just went in motion there? Now they look to the sideline for what the play is. The motion from Latham lets them know whether it's man or zone.
That did not get off cleanly.
Carson with the football.
False start. Left tackle, offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Troy Calhoun, a former Air Force quarterback.
That's the second time the left tackle, Alex Moore, has moved a little early. Might have been the left guard, too. It kind of looked like the whole left side of the line. And Hayes is frustrated. He knows you don't want any pre-snap penalties for any team, but 5 yards hurts the academies more than others. So he's looking to the sideline to see what the play call is.
2nd and 9, it's a pitch. Now it's a reverse. And Harris stops at the 11 and then gets hit. It's a pickup of about 5, an adventurous one at that, but it's still 3rd down.
That was a fun couple yards. I want you to keep your eye. You're going to see Harris come over, but keep your eye right here on Hayes, the quarterback. Watch Hayes get a block. Right here. Keep your eye on him. Watch this block right here. I mean, almost knocked him over. Didn't get him down, but that's a better effort than you'll see from most quarterbacks.
3rd down 6. Hayes a follow, and he's stuffed. So now, outside the 10, it's going to be 4th down and a long 4, maybe 5.
Gotta go. Gotta go, because a field goal, it's a 3-score game right now. Even with the field goal, it's still a 3-score game. You gotta go if you're Air Force. This is the right decision by Troy Calhoun. I'd like to see them somehow utilize Hayes' legs, some type of run-pass option. Maybe it's a sprint out, maybe he drops back, and if it's not there, he scrambles.
He's 5 of 6 for 115 yards through the air, and he'll throw it here. Backpedaling, trouble! Down! Sacked! Campbell! Navy with a big play.
Not many things are more frustrating than a quarterback taking a sack on 4th down. You have to throw the ball up to someone in that situation. Learning experience for Quentin Hayes.
Twice. The alma mater is such a great tradition in any of these academy games. And if you sing second, that means you've won the game.
Oh! The Falcon. That looks like Bills Mafia right there. We got
just gonna
Bills Texans tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern.
I was just
on
going to go there.
CBS. That was awesome.
No, I've seen that in Philly as well, in the Eagles tailgates. Chapman straight ahead. This is a real thing, and it's something that Brian Newberry has preached since he was the defensive coordinator, now the head coach. Get 6. And what are the 6? 3 and outs, 4th down stops, turnovers. And they're 21-5 when they get a combo totaling 6. It feels like 22-5 is right around the bend, because they've got 6 in this one.
Well, and there's a decent amount of time for them to get even more. I like right now that Navy's huddling, that they're taking their time in the huddle. You know, you shouldn't snap it moving forward if you're the Naval Academy until there's less than 5 seconds left on the play clock. You want to milk this thing as much as you can and shorten the game.
Heidenreich reverses. Heidenreich is loose, and it's a race. Eli Heidenreich caught at the 25, dropped at the 17. This guy is unstoppable.
Well, it's been mainly his receiving through the air, but now he shows he can do it on the ground. Look at that move there, and then the cut back there. He is perfect for this offense. The coaches said they say to each other all the time, we need to get more Elis. Let's try to get as many Elis as we can. Yeah, do you think? Now he's got his career high rushing and a much-deserved breather. What a ball player 22 is.
57 yards on that. Play clock running down. This is Bryant, and Isaiah Bryant hit inside the 15, out at the 13. There isn't anything he can't do. Although he is 0 for 1 as a passer this year.
Doesn't have a receiving touchdown in this game. He's a slouch. I mean, he is fun to watch. They got a lot of them. 100 rushing yards, 100 receiving yards. You do not see that very often at any level of football. What a stat line for Heidenreich.
Into the red zone. Navy perfect on the year. They're 17 of 17 in the red zone. And all of those 17 are touchdowns. No field goals allowed in the red zone for Navy this year.
Well, that's about to get tested right now.
Yeah.
Because it's 3rd and long. They brought Heidenreich back in. I'm thinking 2 things here, Rich. It's either some type of quarterback run with Horvath because he's so good in these situations, or Horvath looking for number 22 to give Heidenreich the touchdown he probably deserves.
Heidenreich is just a sophomore. Teska's in the backfield. Chapman in motion. And it's Teska. And he's in. Touchdown. Heidenreich's buddy gets the score. 12 yards.
Boy, another cool play right there. All the action going left. They come with the toss back right. All they needed was the one key block because Arion Burr bit on the fake, the edge rusher.
That's not an easy play for the quarterback. That was a reverse and a left-handed pitch. Boy, this Navy offense has weapons. You got Eli Heidenreich, the snipe. Gonna get you. And then his buddy, Teska. It's 34-7. Navy has built a huge lead, 34-7. Late in the fourth. Our player of the game is brought to you by Old Trapper Beef Jerky, Eli Heidenreich.
Well, he's just been fantastic. Said it a few moments ago, how often do you have a guy, or just watch this catch right here. I mean, just watch and enjoy that catch right there. Unbelievable. And then the multiple cuts on that long run, which led to the last touchdown. Very rare for a guy to have 100 yards rushing and 100 receiving. And by the way, only 6 carries and 5 catches. It's not like it's been high volume. He's got 200 yards on 11 touches.
And he's not the only great athlete in the family, right, Tiffany?
Yeah, he's not, but Ross mentioning the cuts, it's almost like he's hitting the slopes when he's out there. He told me not a lot of people know this about him, that he grew up an hour and a half outside of Pittsburgh hitting the giant slalom. So he did ski racing, told me his father was really into it, the whole family was into it. And it's one of the interesting facts that he wanted me to share, guys, so it's pretty cool.
I was talking with him, Tiff, about it before the game. That's Seven Springs out in Johnstown. I take my family there once a ski season.
And how are you on these slopes?
Not as good as Heidenreich.
And not as good there with a new quarterback in. Josh Johnson getting some run right now, the third quarterback to play for Air Force.
Let's watch the exchange here. New quarterback, new running back. You got to put it in the belly. It's hard to tell from that angle right there. But, you know, we were at practice Thursday. Nobody gives their young guys and backups more reps than Air Force. Nobody. These guys all get a ton of reps.
And the other thing, and both coaches told us, getting reps and playing in one of these games, a Commander-in-Chief trophy game, is just different. It's like a postseason. It's essentially a playoff game in the middle of the season.
Calhoun was very upfront with us yesterday that they just need to get these guys more experience as fast as they possibly can, and unfortunately it takes time. 3rd and 17. We'll see if Navy heats them up a little bit. Looks like they're bringing pressure from the bottom.
Here comes Johnson. Fires down the sideline. Ooh, that's not a bad throw. Camaro Breyer was open. And Air Force going to have to punt.
He had him. You'll see it's out of the backfield. It's a nice job there. Top of your screen. Just couldn't quite connect, and I would expect us, as you see Johnson's frustrated, I would expect us to see a bunch of backups for Navy on offense now too, Rich.
Absolutely. You don't want to expose Horvath and Heidenreich and all those guys to any more hits you would expect. Fair catch called for. 57-yard punt. All right, the last time Navy won here, 2012. Parker Harrington missed what would have been a game-winning field goal for Air Force. On to overtime. Keenan Reynolds early in his career fumbled in the end zone, but Jake Zuzek recovered, and the defense for Navy would come up big. 28-21 was the final. That was the debut of Keenan Reynolds.
It's hard to believe it's been that long. I mean, they play out here every other year. So to not have done it in 12 years is a long time, and Navy does have a new quarterback in, Braxton Woodson, who was really rotating with Horvath during camps.
Shane Reynolds with the carry. CBS Sports celebrates Hispanic and Latinx pioneers of change and recognizes the history, cultures, traditions, and impact of these communities during Hispanic Heritage Month. It is a veteran Navy team, and we've seen it with their offense, with their defense, and an inexperienced Air Force team. Somebody this week asked Brian Newberry if he felt sorry for Air Force having to really go to the well and replace so many people, and he said no.
Yeah, he has no sympathy. and
he
same
should.
token, yeah, I'll tell you in a second here.
Yeah, Woodson. This is Hassan, and Hassan's out to the 36-yard line.
So Newberry, listen, here's the deal, okay? During the COVID year, Air Force had a bunch of players that it's called a turnback. You have to leave school for a semester, and then they came back. They didn't know if they were going to be able to play football that semester or not, so a lot of them left school. So the last couple years, Air Force had a bunch of fifth-year seniors, and it's a big reason why they were so successful. And Troy Calhoun, what did he say to us yesterday? I'm not going to apologize for that. I pushed for it. I try to get that as much as I can, and it's a big reason why they were successful.
And of course, the challenge now is you've got a lot of juniors and seniors that haven't played much, thus the inexperience. Now, it seems like at Wyoming, and even early in parts of this game, they're making progress, but not enough for Navy. 34-7. Ross, you noted how this rarely happens in any level for football. It hasn't happened for Navy since 2000, and Eli Heidenreich, who hasn't touched it like 20 or 30 times, has had a marvelous day.
Now, you want to talk about efficiency. 11 touches for 200 yards. Hard to get a lot more efficient than that young man has been. And how about if you're a Navy fan? I mean, Heidenreich's not a senior. Horvath isn't a senior. You know, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here. They obviously have a really good team this year. They're about to be 5-0 for the first time since 2017, but they got a lot of guys that'll be back next year as well.
And we should note, Army is now 5-0 as well. They had a huge win today at Tulsa. 4 minutes left in this one. Time Collins, flags come down. That's a 48-yard punt. Air Force, of course, in the Mountain West. Navy in the American.
During the return, illegal block in the back, receiving team number 15, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Tomorrow morning, 8 Eastern on CBS Sports Network. Kickoff for Sunday. Fun day with that other pregame show as the Tops team gets you ready for the whole slate of NFL action. By the way, in the Mountain West, Ken Niumatalolo is having a really nice start at San Jose State as the head coach.
Certainly is. Came in here to Air Force and was able to beat the Falcons a few weeks ago.
That was a very sweet win for him and for San Jose State. Brian Newberry, of course, replaced him as head coach at Navy. Newberry in his second year.
Would expect both teams to probably do a heavy dose of the run here. Even with Air Force losing by this much, I think they just want to run some of their core stuff with the young guys they have in right now.
Owen Allen is in there as a running back. Time permitting, Adam, Rick, BJ, and Aaron will share their insights on this one. Bring you the day's best highlights on State Farm College football today and get you ready for Iowa and number 3 Ohio State. Brad, Gary, Jenny will have that call from the Horseshoe. Little option pitch here. It's going to move the football out close to the 30-yard line.
And we talked about it earlier. This is several games now this year where Navy's been able to get their backups, their young guys in the game. And Brian Newberry will tell you that is invaluable, right? To get these guys actual game reps against another team like this, because they're going to probably have to use some of these guys as the season goes on.
It was Caden Cloud on that last carry. And to the 29 is Rocco Conti with his first touch. 11 different rushers today for this Air Force team. It hasn't helped. Navy 34, Air Force 7. 2 minutes left in Colorado Springs. Army's 5-0. Navy's about to be 5-0. So the rest of the road, and what's the probability that they win? Sportsline lined it up, and it's based on how good you are and how good the opponents are. Obviously, the biggest challenge for both is going to be Notre Dame, but both those games are in neutral sites.
And I'll just say it right now, the way Army and Navy are playing, I wouldn't be surprised if one of them is able to take down the Fighting Irish. I mean, this is not the good year for Notre Dame to have to play both of them, that's for sure. I know they play Navy every year, but they're playing one of Army's best teams too.
Of course, Navy and Army are starting to get votes in the polls, attention, and in the discussion for a playoff spot. Brian Newberry told us, he's told his team all week, don't choke on the sugar. Because don't listen to all that stuff. Josh Johnson with the carry, and Johnson, the third quarterback, he's another sophomore out of New Orleans. That's a nice run there as we're in the final 2 minutes.
Well, there was a lot of publicity this week talking about Army and Navy being 4-0 for the first time since 1945, and maybe the college football playoff, maybe the American championship. It didn't seem like it had much of an impact on both of them. I mean, they're both still winning going away. That's a really good sign for the maturity of these men who you would think are pretty mature. To make the decision they did when they were 17, 18 years old to sign up to serve the country, and because of the options that they get after school, it's not surprising that they handled their success very well so far.
I mean, they're just trying to get through every day, waking up at 5 in the morning and doing all that they have to do a full day before it's ready for practice in the afternoon.
Hey, we had to wake up at 5 in the morning today.
That's
10 a.m. local kick.
It's not easy. Johnson weaves his way out to midfield, and he'll stop there. They'll bring up third down and about 5. Every time you put up one of those, a day in the life of a midshipman or a cadet, it's unbelievable, the time commitment and the discipline for these football players. There's no NIL, there's no transfer portal. This is the way it used to be.
And the stuff they major in, quantitative economics, and some of the seniors for Navy were telling us they want to do Marine Corps ground. Just love every single one of these kids.
And for both Army and Navy to be at 5-0, to watch Navy and how good they are, what they did to Memphis, what they did on the road at UAB, what they've done here against Air Force, with all of that these student athletes go through is just so impressive. Final snap on 4th and 4. Johnson looking, and now running, and that's it. The first leg of the Commander-in-Chief Trophy chase, and the first win in a CIC game for Brian Newberry. And it's a decisive one. It snaps a 4-game losing streak to Air Force. Navy's first win on this field since Keenan Reynolds debuted in 2012. And the Navy ship just keeps on full speed ahead. This was impressive. Tiffany Blackman is down below with Brian Newberry.
Coach Newberry, you told us your team didn't need any additional fuel coming into this game. I saw you getting a lot of congratulations. How special is it for you to be able to lead this team to a victory in a place where they haven't won in over 10 years?
Yeah, it's really special. You know, it's just our seniors talk about leaving a legacy. You know, it's been a rough 3 years for those guys, and so they've not be there for us. So I'm super happy for those guys. Thought we prepared the right way. This team keeps overcoming adversity. Playing here on the road is tough, and it's a good Air Force team. So I'm just really proud of our players. Happy for them.
I hear a little bit of emotion in your voice, Coach. How much do these guys mean to you?
Oh, yeah, I can't express in words. You know, I got the best job in the country. Coach the best young men in the country. It's a joy to come to work every day. Every day I got to pinch myself.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, you got it. Thank you.
All right.